say that's going to be on the recording.
Answer is 37.
Even when I did it myself.
Answer is 112. Answer should be 106. Answer is 6249. Answer is -2. Pick a number from 1 to 5. Winning number today is 1. To use matrix functions on the TI-83 Plus calculator, and the learning targets for today are going to be min, max, median, and product, as well as times row plus and just times row. Of course, none of that's written on here. I left it off today, but luckily I can remember it. And here is the first example. Star row function. That is going to be multiplying a row by a value. That's still in the matrix list. So you get to there by hitting second matrix math and then choose E for star row. It will return a matrix with row of the matrix multiplied by a value and stored in the same row. So you're going to multiply a row by another. In my calculator, I chose matrix A, and this is my matrix A. Here is what I'm going to do. Choose the star row function, and then 5 is the number that you're multiplying the row by. The A is the name of the matrix, and 1 represents the row of that matrix that you're going to multiply by 5. So when we get finished with this, the answer should be 5 times this entire row. So you should get back 20 and -10 on the top row. And there it is. It replaces row 1 with 20 and -10. You try this and walk by here with your calculator screen. Multiply row 1 of A, and there is A for you to type in. Multiply row 1 of matrix A by 10 and walk through here with it. You should have had 30, 20, and 60 on the top row of a new matrix. And then -1, 2, 4, 3, 3, and 6. Answer on the bonus problem is 104. Next up is another example. This is the star row plus function. Star row plus is letter F in the matrix math menu, and it will return a matrix with row A of the matrix multiplied by a value and then added to row B, or whatever row you specify, and it stores it in that row that you specify. For example, I'm going to use my matrix A again. And there it is, same as before. Now go to my math menu in the matrix area and choose F, star row plus. There's the function. And I'm going to multiply row 1 of matrix A by 7. 7 is the number I'm going to multiply by. Matrix is the matrix that I'm in. 1 is that I'm multiplying row 1 by 7, and I'm going to add it to row 2. And the result is going to be left in row 2. So if this works out as planned, then it should be the following. 4 times 7, -21 times 7. Whatever you get for those answers, it's going to add it to 6 and -31 respectively and store the answer in that row. So let's see what happens. And there is the result. You can test this one. 4 times 7 is 28. 28 plus 6 is 34. And there's the result there. Now here's a practice for you to bring up. Multiply row 2 of matrix A, which is listed on the screen. Multiply it by 6 and add it to row 1. Multiply row 2 by 6, add it to row 1, and the result will be stored in row 1. To check your answer on this, if you had a 17 in this position in the answer matrix, then you would have had the right answer. The answer should be 180 on the bonus. Here's another example. Now we're going to go to the list function. We're out of matrix. We've done everything in the matrix that we need to do. We're going to go to list now, and list is second stat, where you can find all of your stuff in there. And the first one is going to be min. Min, and then you put a list number in. It's very simple. It just returns the smallest real or complex element in the list. So if you hit second stat, this is what you see, but you have to go over to the math portion, and min is the first one. So I'm going to use the min function on my list 1. I have some numbers in list 1, and it simply returns the lowest value, which is 2. So on your practice problem, you'll do the same thing, but I'll give you a list. Here's the practice. Find the minimum value of L1 if L1 is all of those elements there. And as always, you have to have the function above the final answer to show that you've done the proper work. The minimum value should be -10. Here is another bonus problem. The answer should be 154. Alright, another example. Back in the list menu, you're going to do the max. And it's the same thing, except it returns the highest number. And it's the second one on your list menu. So I'll put in max L1, and I'll get back a 30 from my list. But on yours, you'll have one to type in for practice. Here is the practice problem. Find the max value of L2 if L2 is that list presented there. Make sure you have the function shown above your final answer. The answer to this should be 3. Here is another bonus. Answer should be 400. Here is another example. List, and then you're going to find the mean, which is the average. Now in the manual directions for this, you can find the PDF for the manual of any of those calculators on the internet. But all you're going to need to do is put in just a list number. We're not going to do the frequency list part of it yet. And it'll simply return the mean. So you go into the menu and choose 3. And there's my function. I'm going to use my list 1, and it gives me 13.75. Round your mean that you bring up to the tenths place. Oh, no, you don't have to do that. It'll just return it on the screen. So I was thinking we were going to bring it up on paper, but just bring up the calculator screen. And here is your practice. Find the mean of list 3 if list 3 will be those values on the screen. Answer should be 0.8181 and on out. Another bonus problem. Answer should be 30. Here is the example, the next one. The median, we're going to bring back the middle number from a list, and that is number 4 on the second list math menu. Again, we're not going to worry about the frequency list. And it's number 4. There's the function. I'm putting in L1, and I get back 12.5 on my L1 list. For your practice problem, find the median of L4 if L4 represents those numbers on the screen. Answer is 3. Here is another bonus. Answer is 4. Here's the next example. List, and then you're going to use sum, and we're going to do this in two different ways. This example has two different ways inside of it. So it'll be sum, and you can just type in the list number, and it'll give you the sum of all of the elements. So if you go to the math menu and choose 5, you get back sum. And if I type in simply L1, it's going to add up my list 1. And my sum is 165. But you can also do something else with the same function. There's my list. And I don't want to add up the whole list. I only want to add up a few numbers. So I'm going to use the sum function again and type in L1, comma, 1, comma, 5 to add up the first 5 numbers. If I wanted to add up the cells 3 through 6, I would put 3, comma, 6. But I just want the first 5, so I type 1, comma, 5 after L1, comma. And it gives me a value of 60. So for your practice problem, here's what you have to do. Find the sum of cells 3 through 7 of list 1 if list 1 is what you see on the screen. And this is after you have sorted in ascending order list 1. Type in list 1, sort it by ascending order, and then find the sum of cells 3 through 7. The answer should be 2. Here's another bonus problem. The answer on this one should be 80. The next example, you're going to use the prod function, which is short for product, and it's going to work the same thing as the sum function, where you can do it in two different ways. It'll return the product of every item in your list. So if I do the product of my list 1, then I come back with a really large number, exponential, in scientific notation. But what if I don't want the product of everything in the list? Here's my list. I have 9, 6, and 12 to start with. So I'm going to go back and choose product. And I just want the product of the first 3 numbers. So L1, comma, 1, comma, 3. And that gives me back 648. For your practice problem, find the product of cells 2 through 6 of list 5, which is given to you on the screen, after you have sorted by descending value. The answer on this should be 288.